So the Khamzat Chimaev fan club simply cannot stop coping at the loss of Sean Strickland. We're going to go through the whole Jaxxon Podcast situation today. Big up my guru who made a video about this. He made a video as I was literally listening to this. I was in the gym listening to this. I couldn't believe my fucking ears at how bad this is. Ariel Helwani also gets in the mix. Don't worry, I'll be changing my camera when this clip comes around. We're going to be going through this whole situation and why Sean Strickland is just getting discredited by everybody in this industry simply because he was simply better than Khamzat Chimaev on the day. But before we go any further, let me actually just move this here real quick. Ariel Helwani versus Costa is tonight. I'm going to be doing a Fight Companion live stream for this. I cannot wait, boys. I've been meaning to do Fight Companion live streams for a long time. And if you've been watching this channel long enough, you know how big of an Ariel Helwani fan I am. So I am absolutely stoked to do this. But let's get into this cope session. So the Avengers were assembled to get this podcast done. And listen, I've been a big Jaxxon fan podcast for a long time. I kind of stopped watching with the whole Rampage situation because I just don't really like Rampage Jaxxon. But I was always so hyped to hear what the Jaxxon podcast had to say about every pay-per-view. The TJ Dillashaw lineup was absolutely insane. That just a cold-blooded killer that TJ is. Ruthless, okay? I needed him in this video. I needed him. Now, he does say some good points, but there's so many talking points in today's video. We just simply have to break down. So let's start with Bear. Obviously, you know, I'm here with the greatest co-host of all time and the most requested Jaxxon Podcast guest of all time. Let's just get into this, boys. I can't wait to make this video.
Sean Strickland. Khamzat Chimaev.
Maybe that's why he won, because the plus 400 or 500 odds, you know?
Straight away, Luke Rockhold comes out with that, oh, maybe that's the reason he won, the plus 400 or 500 odds, which has no relevance for fucking anything, absolutely anything. You think that the bookies wanted to lose all that money? The UFC wanted to lose the Khamzat Chimaev star to get the guy that's unfiltered and gets his mic plugged? Do you think he really wanted to lose that? Cope number one comes straight from Luke Rockhold. And if you remember, Luke Rockhold and Sean Strickland were actually booked to fight at MSG back in November 2021 on the Usman versus Covington 2 card. Maybe that has a little bit to do with it. The fact that Luke Rockhold pulled out of that fight. Maybe. The first thing Luke Rockhold says is stupid. But, oh, there's more.
Interesting.
Split
Who do you feel won?
I think Khamzat won. Khamzat won the 4th and the 5th round.
Okay. Now, a lot of people get pissed off with me just pausing every clip. It's a breakdown, okay? This is what I meant to do. But Khamzat Chimaev clearly wins 4 and 5. Sean Strickland wins 1, 2, and 3. Khamzat clearly wins.
The championship, he controlled the pace of how that fight finished. And that's what champions do. That's who deserves the championship.
No. I keep seeing this control, who's pushing forward. It doesn't matter who's walking forward or back when they're the one getting damaged, when they're the one just throwing and not landing anything. It does not matter. It is not a control-based scoring system. It is a damage-based scoring system. That is a crock of fucking shit from Luke Rockhold. And literally, TJ won't argue with this because TJ won the fight against Corey Sandhagen from that whole thing. Easily.
The pace of how that fight finished. And that's what champions do. That's who deserves the championship.
I could see why it went the other way. I did have Chimaev winning 1, 4, and 5.
Respectable. At least TJ saying I can see. Respect. He's saying, you know, Chimaev won 4 and 5 and he was moving forward. That's why I won him the fight. Based from TJ. At least he's saying. Now, there's going to be one clip in this video which will make this all make sense. But let's see what else TJ has to say.
Just because of going forward and landing a little bit of the bigger shots. He takedown didn't do any damage, but he got it. It was just so close. I don't see how you win a fight throwing a jab backing up backwards. The whole time. You know, he's backing up, throwing a jab.
You cannot win. A jab is meant to change the course of the direction of what direction the fight's going. You can't. Every jab he had was moving backwards. You got to do damage and step him back.
Damage, exactly. Khamzat Chimaev was doing no damage. No one's saying Chimaev obviously lost the first round, even though he did no damage. It's a damage-based scoring system. Look at Chimaev's face at the end of the fight. Look at Sean Strickland's face at the end of the fight. If Sean Strickland's just popping Khamzat's head back, always on him with the jab, which he was, that is damage. Yes, he's not landing a massive overhand. Yes, Khamzat definitely had moments on the feet. that doesn't do enough. That was such a clear 5th round. Nobody can, I still believe, okay, I actually genuinely believe there is a massive argument to give Sean Strickland that 4th round. People know it's not about who's moving forward and who's moving backwards. It's about who's landing. Okay? Who's landing more and effective. Did Khamzat land the more effective shots? Probably. But there wasn't enough in the rounds. Look at Khamzat's face at the end of it. He was broken in the 2nd round. He was absolutely mentally broken, crawling to his back in the 2nd round. The Strickland was on top of him. Tells you everything you need to know. There's so much cope in this video. It's insane.
I would say that this was very hard to watch because I wasn't watching the Khamzat that I know.
Exactly.
And so it was hard for me to count every round and, you know, and really analyze the fight because I was so shocked at, like, what's wrong with Khamzat?
This was the exact same Khamzat we saw against Kamaru Usman. This is the exact same Chimaev that we saw against Gilbert Burns. What other fights are you seeing that you've seen Khamzat really battle it out for 5 rounds with someone? He went 5 rounds once against Strickland and laid in the crucifix for most of it. He was exerting no energy in that fight. He's never had a good gas tank. He's never been a good on his gas. I don't care if the weight cut was rough. He had a year out of the cage. What was he doing? He should have been as lean as possible. Maybe there's rumors of him moving up to 205 and fighting Yuri was on the cards. He was trying to bulk up for that. He's a big enough dude. He doesn't need to do that. Cope from Khalil Roundtree. This is the exact Chimaev we have seen his entire career. From start to finish. He's always been known to gas. He's always been known to dominate in the 1st round. Look at the Kamaru Usman fight. This is the exact same as the Kamaru Usman fight. Just Strickland's just better.
Get what I mean?
You say
the
that,
first
but
round. Hold
Sean-
on, let me
Sean's
finish.
good, man.
Let me finish. The first round was
Sean's
great.
good.
2nd round, things like took a big turn, and then
Because he broke. He mentally broke. He was crawling on his back like a fucking turtle. Let's be real here.
round 3, in my opinion, after that round was done, I remember checking off my mind. Okay, I give that round to Khamzat. I'm biased. 4, I was like, okay, cool. We're 3.
Admitting to bias, by the way. I gave 2, 3, and 5 to Strickland, and you could argue the 4th. I actually gave Strickland the 4th, to be honest with you. I thought he won 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm just being real. Most people don't agree with the 4th. That's fine. Obviously, I think Chimaev has a great case to win that fight. 2, 3, and especially the 5th, undeniably Strickland.
3 going. We're up 3 going into 5, and then 5 I blurred. So
this basically eliminates every single thing Khalil Roundtree says in this video about who he thought he won, simply because he can't actually remember the 5th round, so he hasn't watched the 5th back, and he just openly admitted giving Khamzat the 3rd because of bias. So every single thing Khalil Roundtree now says is does not matter.
all to say, I think that he did enough to win the fight.
What rounds you said?
I think 1, 3, and 4.
Okay.
I don't remember really watching number 5. That's where people said, like, you know, they gave him round number.
How can you give round 3 to Khamzat? How? Makes no sense, bro.
5. But all that to say, just like Rob, I think if a rematch happens, he comes. It looks completely different.
He won round 1. He lost. The only round that was clear for Sean was round 2. Round 3 was close. I think it could have went either way. Round 4 was Khamzat all the way. He really pushed the pace. He hit him with some bigger shots. He was hitting the bigger shots too.
Can we stop this pushing pace narrative? It doesn't matter who's walking forward or not, bro. Who's landing more? Strickland was up on the strikes as well, by the way. Strickland was up at everything bar control, and he actually had some good control in the second, actually. So it'd be interesting to see that, but I think the first round, obviously, Chimaev was just laying on him. Stop with this bullshit, bro.
Sean's landing clean jabs, but they're usually off breaks, and it was just like pepper jabs, and then it was setting up. There were setups and they're defensive, and then in the 5th round he pushed him to the back on his back foot the whole time too. I mean,
actual good points here from Luke Rockhold. Saying the 3rd could have went either way. Saying Strickland was using a lot of jabs off the break, but there was moments where it was just a stand-up fight, and Strickland was clearly winning. Clearly winning. The 1-2 down the pipe. Stopped acting like Strickland only used the jab. He was on top of Khamzat Chimaev in the 2nd round. He was on top of him in guard. He was literally out grappling him in the second round at moments while Khamzat went to his back. And Strickland was doing 1-2 down the pipe perfectly. It wasn't just like he only threw a jab. He wasn't just holding A or mashing the A button. The narrative around this is quite crazy to me.
There's a way that Khamzat could have won. You know,
Who
won? He could have
more
won 1,
damage?
3, 4, and 5. You know, and the only clear.
What are you talking about? That is the biggest load of bullshit. You can argue Strickland won 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's crazy from Rockhold. I expect better.
He could have won 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Who's giving Khamzat that 5th round? Who? Who's giving Chimaev the 3rd? No way did he win that 5th round. Absolutely no chance did he win that 5th round. It's a damage-based scoring system. These people forget, man. These guys, I'm going to show a clip to you now in a second. It's going to make a lot of sense.
You know, and the only clear round for Sean was round 2.
Who do you think was more damaged?
I think Khamzat landed the bigger
I
shots.
think he broke his nose, you know?
Not answering the question. Not answering the question.
Hamzat landed the bigger
And
shots.
usually refs will go based off of damage, which, like, why didn't anybody go
Bigger
based off of
moments.
damage?
Did nobody see Chimaev's face? Did nobody see Khamzat Chimaev's face at the end of the fight? Yes, Strickland had a broken nose. Khamzat Chimaev looked like he went through a fucking shredder. The only reason Strickland won the fight is because we were going off damage, Khalil Roundtree, who's biased in the 3rd and can't remember the 5th round. Okay? That's okay. That's why Sean Strickland beat Khamzat Chimaev. It's a fact.
Damage here.
I
You
just
know what
don't.
I mean?
It doesn't make sense. It
Like,
doesn't
you have
make.
to watch
The only
the
thing
whole
that
fight.
makes sense is like, okay, he was a plus 500 underdog.
Yeah.
What has that got to do with anything? Like anything at all? I'm gonna let Rockhold. You know, he's like, hold on, hold on, preacher. Let me in here real quick.
I get
Hey,
to watch the
there's
fight.
a little bit of sketchy things sometimes in who they want to win. Maybe they just wanted Sean to win because you know he's Sean. Because he's Sean. Like there's.
I try to take
It
out,
could have
like,
been
any
swayed.
conspiracy.
This
I
thing
caught
could
the
have
last
been.
Okay, that's the only thing I'll take a little Roundtree actually saying. I try to take any conspiracies. That, like, the thing about this is, like, it's actually kind of laughable. What the fuck does Sean Strickland being a plus 500 actually do? You're telling me they wanted their golden boy undefeated tapping into the Middle East star, Khamzat Chimaev, against a redneck All-American who says diabolical shit and they have to get extra security for because the amount of shit that he says. You're telling me that's who the UFC wanted to win? It doesn't even make their arguments don't even make sense.
Doesn't
2
make
or
much
3
reason.
rounds, so I don't only get to make, like, I just got to see the last 2 or 3, and I got to go from there and see what I got from it. I thought Khamzat won, you know, from what I saw from there, but I didn't get to see everything else. They said it was one round piece. I just got out and
Of course, now I must say, keep in mind, Bobby Green is one of the best speakers. You know, Shakespeare has dissent, or Bobby Green is like a dissent of Shakespeare with the way he be speaking sometimes. Keep in mind, Bobby Green just said, you know, he sees some of that stuff. You know, I just saw the last bit and I was like, smile.
showered and had interviews, and by the time I came in about 2 or 3.
It felt like
Third
Hamzat
round.
What the fuck did he just say?
finished the
Third or
fight.
4th round I came in.
He
I will
finished-
say this,
Finished
though.
winning looking.
Please, TJ, please.
Hamzat
what do you
did
got?
not look good.
Yeah. But what I'm gonna say really fast. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to
You're
get you
good.
off. But what I'm saying is, like, I thought you had to beat the champ. And,
Yeah.
and that's what I didn't see at
On a
the
split
end of it.
decision?
You had to beat him. Where I felt Khamzat, I'm gonna give him. This is one of his better fights that I've seen of him. Where, yes, he had the wrestling, but he went in there. He had the bigger moments with the striking also, where he's swinging, pow, and catching some stuff. You know.
He did not have the better moments with the striking, bro. What moments? I asked people this. Strickland was clearly outlanding him. Strickland was clearly outdamaging him, bro. Sean Strickland never got wobbled. Never got rocked. Now, Khamzat Chimaev didn't exactly look rocked or wobbled either. But still, he looked so much better on the feet in moments. That Chimaev never looked sound on the feet. The next point here, there was controversy about the weight cut. And Khalil Roundtree makes a statement here saying, backstage, they know what you weigh before you actually get on the scale. Okay, so you'll use a digital scale backstage and then you'll go on the bouncy scale. For some reason, I don't know why that is. I don't know why we just don't use one scale. I don't know why we just don't use a digital scale. To be honest with you, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Why? There was massive controversy. So the scale was still bouncing up and down. So there was no way to get a proper read on Khamzat's weight. And it happened to Khabib and Nurmagomedov as well, if we're just being real. Certain fighters get biased. Bobby Green spits facts here. So Khalil Roundtree says, oh, well, backstage, you know what you're going to weigh before you get on stage. One guy was like 160, and he said, like, before they get on stage, like the actual official scale, they already know he's 160. But Bobby Green makes an interesting point.
Like, when I get to the apex, before I go in front of...
We do the check scale, yeah.
Yeah, I do the check scale.
But that's a digital. Now we're doing the actual weight one. That's where he starts playing with the scale shit and playing with it. And according to what I saw, bro, I'm going to keep the shit real. Like, that motherfucker was still bouncing around, and he called the weight. So it's like, what the fuck? Like,
bang on the money. Bang on the money. That scale needs to be stopping. That shit was jiggling up and down, bro, like a fucking panda. That brings a lot of controversy, and if one of the people in Khamzat's camp, which we're going to get onto now in a second, is saying this, that looks bad. That looks bad for Khamzat Chimaev and his team, and we know Khamzat's had weight problems before. He always has. Look at the Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz fight that was going to happen. Why that fight ever happened, I don't know. I actually have no idea why that was booked. It's been notorious amongst these guys. Especially Khamzat Chimaev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, they've all been notorious for it. Bobby Green is speaking facts here. It's facts. And listen, I love Bobby Green. And for somebody to say this, usually it's TJ Dillashaw, but I just love Bobby Green mention that. My next point here, which is the most fishy of them all, explains exactly why Luke Rockhold says, oh, well, he was a plus 500 favorite. That's why he won. Exactly why TJ Dillashaw says, oh, well, you know, people backing up, they can't win the fight. You got to beat the champ. Split decision. You know, Bobby Green and Rockhold were saying that. Listen to exactly what Bear says here, and listen carefully.
He was just over 200 pounds before when he left here.
So they're talking about weight cutting and stuff like that. They know, like, because they were like, oh, Khamzat, you know, there's a massive weight rumor. There always is, but probably bullshit.
People need to shut.
Weight rumors and like he was 260 or 200, 220 going into fight week and stuff like that. He definitely missed weight though.
Part of the camp. Yeah. Khalil was part of the camp. TJ was part of the camp. A lot of people are talking about the camp, talking about the.
Play that one more time.
Part of the camp. Yeah. Khalil was part of the camp. TJ was part of the camp.
Khalil was part of the camp. TJ was part of the camp. Notice how they're all on this podcast. Bear is very good friends with Khamzat. Khamzat Chimaev has been shown training at the Jaxxon Podcast gym with Brendan Allen. Are we connecting dots here? Are we looking at this and saying, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this makes sense. Maybe the reason they think Khamzat Chimaev won, maybe he has some sponsorships with Jaxxon Podcast. Maybe he's bringing in a certain revenue. 100%. He's training at the Jaxxon Podcast. It's the exact same thing with Ahmed Sarukian. If he ever lost a close decision, you better believe they're picking him to win. You better fucking believe it, okay? And it's disappointing, man. Bias is such a massive thing in this industry, and I try my absolute hardest never to give bias. I don't have affiliation with any of these fighters apart from like Shamrock. Big my boy Shem, mean Shem rap sometimes. I don't have any affiliation, so I just say whatever the fuck I think and go from there. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like that they're saying these guys were all part of the camp and things like that. And Chimaev, you know, they can't go around badmouthing him saying, oh, you definitely lost that fight. It doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. And I thought TJ would be one of the guys. In fairness, he did say, I saw why he went the other way, but Khamzat. That gives a massive insight to why this is happening, especially with the plus 500 shit. So this is going to be the last clip of the Jaxxon Podcast. Before we dissect the Ariel Helwani beef, which is even more crazy, TJ Dillashaw just says something so stupid. I'm just going to let this clip play, and you'll probably just be like, oh my God.
Like that, you know, like Khamzat's too fucking good. Like the guy that I saw here training and sparring, like that was not him that night, unfortunately. And yeah, Sean threw him off his game, but like also Khamzat had a massive brain fart, dude. Like that, he just did not look like himself.
Yes, he did. The guy that's training at the gym, and these guys were involved in the camp. He looked exactly like he always looks, bro. This was nothing new about Khamzat Chimaev. There was nothing new about Chimaev in this fight. And it's just, it's just poor to see, you know, two former UFC champions who I like. And listen, I know people don't like TJ Dillashaw, but, you know, TJ's given me some great nights. Luke Rockhold's been good. He's always been good to laugh at as well. But he was fucking good back in the day. Disappointing, man. Disappointing. Bias is truly a big thing in this sport. And Ariel Helwani. Helwani's always been controversial. But this is pathetic from Helwani, in my opinion. Going at two champions for fighting their hearts out, selling a fight that we haven't seen in a long time. Let's just hear what Helwani has to say. I'll try my best to just let it play, but I need to jump in sometimes. It is nearly a 6-minute clip, so I will do my best to just let it play as much as possible.
There saying insane, vile shit about
This was at the press conference.
Muslim people, about Khamzat, about his family, about people he's associated with, about some people who have, you know, checkered backgrounds, to be kind.
Yeah.
About his mom. He's saying it with his fucking chest. Like he's saying it from here and he's standing up. What Sean was saying at that press conference was crossing the line. What Khamzat did was dirty.
Absolutely. And we're going to stop it there. Yes, Sean said a load of crazy shit. Khamzat Chimaev assaulted him. Did Sean deserve it? You know, for the shit he was saying, you could argue that. Okay, but it is at a press conference. I agree with what Helwani's saying there, up to a certain extent. You know what you're getting with Sean Strickland. And someone that, you know, Khamzat Chimaev sold out to a certain era. You can't go into a press conference not expecting Sean Strickland to say shit like that. Okay, look at the easy one as well. The first press conference he was at. That was so going.
Yeah. You can't kick a guy that you're about to fight in the balls before.
Just in general, to be honest.
Anticipation, all-time high, building up, holy shit. You win that fight and tell the world that was all for show? That was all for promotion? That is the biggest bunch of bullshit that I've ever heard. That is fraud.
No, it's not. One thing Helwani doesn't understand is, nobody actually came out and said this was all promotion. We actually really like each other. Okay, no one ever said that. That's completely a myth. When you go 25 minutes and you both look like you've just gone through a fucking cheese grater, the level of respect is not bought or sold. It's earned. It's earned. I understand what Helwani is saying, though. I understand that, you know, you say all this shit, you can't really go back. Yes, you fucking can when you've gone 25 minutes for a UFC world title and nearly killed each other. Yes, you fucking can. Because you put your words to fucking use. And you fucking went in there and fought both your hearts out. Okay? I understand. And listen, I understand. Sometimes I do get pissed off with this beef as well. But the whole time, I just knew these guys respected each other. They never were like out saying like, I hate this cunt, like I'll never squash it, it's never going to be over. Like Conor versus Khabib, there was families involved, there was teams involved, there was a load of backstory. These guys had like training stories of, oh well, Sean made him storm out the gym once and this, that and the fourth. There was never any like crazy backstory or lore or anything like that. It's different then. There was respect. I always knew there was respect. They trained together. They definitely know each other. There was always respect, bro. Absolutely always respect. That's what Helwani's failing to miss. There was never some massive timeline of beef. No, they were just scheduled to fight each other. They had beef in ways, 100%. But Sean Strickland's unfiltered and they both sold it.
That is cowardly shit. You cannot do what he did and say what he did in the build up to that fight and then tell us seconds after the fight is over, I was just trying to sell the fight.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You cannot walk that back. You called his mother a whore. You called his religion awful things. That doesn't go away. I'm sorry. And all that tells me is you're not who you say you are. You think Conor and Khabib are ever doing that? Ever. No. And these two guys went back and forth and took this sport and their fight into the gutter. And then afterwards, we're doing the kumbaya thing, putting the belt. No. And then you tell me afterwards, you share the cage with someone, 25 minutes. Excuse me, that wasn't your debut. You know what that feeling is like. You know what that phenomenon is like, sharing the cage with another human being. And
what? Clearly you fucking don't. Clearly you fucking don't. What are you talking about debuts? What's that got to do with anything? What's debut got to do with anything? 25 minutes for a world title is so far-fetched from a UFC debut. What is Ariel Helwani on about? What is Ariel Helwani talking about? It makes no sense at all. And who the fuck are you to say they can't make up for it? Did he say anything about you? Did he say anything about your religion? No. Who the fuck are you to say that? Look at his angry fucking face with that big nose. Pisses me off, man.
And yet you still spoke about him that way. If you know what happens when you share the cage with someone for 25 minutes, you know that you're going to feel some sort of way about them.
No. I have to interrupt here. It's different when you go through a war. It's different when you go through a war. You look at Paulo Costa versus, Sean Strickland. Dead fight. Terrible fight. Awful fight. It's different when you come out looking like a cheese grater. That's the difference. You go to war for 25 minutes after all that build-up, and then you put on a fight like that, and you need to kill each other in that cage. That's different. And it's always going to be different. Nothing will ever compare to a UFC debut. It doesn't even come close. So Helwani's point there makes no sense and is absolutely trash.
In the aftermath.
Kinship of
yes.
sorts, yeah.
Don't tell me that, something came on you and afterwards you respected this man. No, you don't respect this man because you said all that stuff. Either you're lying about everything you said, but you took us to a very dark, deep, disgusting place.
No, he didn't. He said goat stuff and things like that. And he's a W word. A whore and stuff like that. He didn't take this to a terrible place. He didn't take this to a massacred place. He just said funny shit. Was some of it too far? No, to be honest. I don't really think so. But who the fuck is Ariel Helwani to say these two shouldn't respect each other? These two shouldn't go. Oh, you can't go back. Says fucking who? You? Bullshit.
Fine. That's how you feel. And then you tell us in the immediate aftermath, I didn't mean any of that. I apologize, guys. When Conor McGregor won the belt at Madison Square Garden, he apologized to nobody. And this dude is apologizing for all of that?
Eddie Alvarez and Conor McGregor never had any beef. It's pure competitiveness. Pure competitive beef.
I was like, you don't get to say that about someone's religion and parents and mom and then apologize. I felt that was so weak. I felt that was so disappointing. I have nothing against Sean. I like Sean. In fact, I told his team long before all this, I think Sean and I have some things in common. That was BS. Respect to Khamzat. He tested me.
Yeah.
But F that guy.
Yeah.
We're going to end the Helwani clip here. I get it. I get what he's saying. But, no. You have no position to say that two fighters going through 25 minutes of war can't make up for it. It's simply not on. It's simply not on. You don't have the right to say that. You weren't in that cage. You weren't the one fighting Sean Strickland. You weren't the one fighting Khamzat Chimaev. Would that be... Now, it's different if Helwani said, I would never make up for that. That's different. But to say, no, you guys can't. No, you guys are fucking... This, you're a liar. This, that, and the fourth. Bullshit. Bullshit. Helwani is a snake. As much as I watch his interviews and I actually quite like him, this bullshit. Putting words in Jamal Hill's mouth. We all saw it. About domestic abuse. Fucking bullshit. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.